Good afternoon and welcome to the Capital Investment Committee meeting of November 21st, 2019. Call to order, and number one is the consideration of minutes for the October 24th, 2019 agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Number two, election of chairman and vice chairman for effective date of 2020, I
I
guess.
nominate Randy Blanton for chair.
Can we do that?
Sure.
Can we do that? Okay. Any discussion? Brandy, you want to call in? All right, all in favor? Aye.
I
All right.
nominate, you,
Then we need for vice chair.
Dana McClendon.
I second that. Any discussion?
Came around.
None, seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Dana, were you going to vote for yourself?
Sure.
Sure, okay, 3-0. All right, we have the new chairman will be Brandy Blanton, and vice chair will be Dana McClendon. When does that take effect?
That'll start in
2020, so it says effective, so, all
And we
right.
do not plan to have a December meeting unless you all have a burning desire to
No,
meet
thank
on
you.
December 12th.
We're
Okay.
good. All right, we're in number three, consideration to deny request for water and sewer availability at 120 Gilbert Drive.
So this is the Henpeck Interceptor. This is, the water department is recommending denial. This this property is two parcels back from where the interceptor is located. It would require the property owner to get more than one private easement, and then to have an extended service line, which we don't normally recommend doing.
Okay. Do I have a
Property owner
motion?
present? Anybody? Okay.
You ready for a motion?
Yes, I am.
I move for, denial.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Passes 3-0. Number four, consideration to deny sewer availability for 4107, 4111, and 4115 Clovercroft Road. Michelle?
So these are three lots that are owned by a single person. The property owner would like to replat the lots to have for development, but the county is requesting them to get a notice from us that sewer is not available. So they're requesting denial.
And that is,
So it's outside the city limits, but within our UGB, which
Right.
is why we're bringing that to you.
actually touching the actually touching the city limits.
Second.
All right, the applicant is here. Is there any discussion? Anyone from the applicant want to speak? Okay. All in favor of the denial?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. All right. Number five, consideration to deny sewer availability to 340 Franklin Road.
Okay, so this property is across from Harlansdale, so inside the city limits. It is a nonprofit, the Healing House. It is, they would have to extend the sewer about 650 feet, which is about a cost of a little over $300,000 for the nonprofit.
Is this the one up the hill?
Where's that? Yeah.
I can't picture it.
Where's that?
It's
Where's that?
across the railroad, isn't it?
Across the,
Across
it's kind of set back a little bit. It's kind of a two-story house.
I'm from there. I'm representing them.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on up.
Come on up. Come on up. Have a seat.
Right here?
Yes, and if you speak, please punch the mic. Thank you. And identify yourself, please, and your address.
I'm Lauren Morgan, and I'm the assistant to the executive director at Healing Housing. And at 340 Franklin Road, it's right across from Harlansdale Farm, as you said, and it's kind of up a very steep driveway. And we house women in recovery from drug and alcohol addiction, and so the $300,000 for the sewer was a little daunting to us. And so that's why we would request denial to fix our septic.
Okay.
Move that we accept the recommendation to deny.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Number 6, this would be consideration to approve sewer availability for 1013 Chapel Court.
So this parcel is outside the city limits, and it's in a low-pressure system, and it's in the Meadow Green Special Assessment District. We are recommending approval for this request.
Tell me
Yeah.
why you're recommending approval. Is it,
I assume, so I assume the Special Assessment District was
Yeah.
when their septic failed, that they would
Yeah.
connect to the sewer.
so, that's
I'm
the
not sure
only
why
one
this
that's
is even
done?
coming to them.
Yeah.
We've already did an
Okay.
agreement that those properties would be able
Would-
to tie on, so I'm not sure the board even needs to act, because I think you already acted about 10 years ago
We said that
to allow
once-
these folks to tie on to the system. So I don't know, is there anything special other
nothing
than that?
special, no.
Okay.
All right,
If you want to give us approval, you can, but we'll double check whether that's necessary in this case.
Well, let's
because
don't mess anything up.
Yeah,
If
I
we
think
did it, we did it.
I think you already did it with the broad agreement to extend sewer to this neighborhood.
Meadow Green.
Yeah.
So we'll
That's
just,
just one more that's failed. It's
Correct.
not
Yeah, and
counted off.
So-
eventually, a number of these will come
we'll
on.
just pass
We
this
did a,
back
we
to
did a
you.
full lift station and everything.
I thought we did.
Yeah, and that basically worked with the county on this. The county fronted the money and has done a special assessment back out to the individual property owners.
We had to upgrade the Fieldstone lift station, right? Is my memory.
I think that's right, yeah. And so about,
Right, so
roughly
that's-
half of these have
Okay.
come onto the
All right,
system.
so that's a
Cool.
done deal, and we'll just pass that back on to Water Department.
Yep.
Correct? All right. Number 7, consideration of approval of sewer availability for 401 Ellington Drive.
So this is a property that's will be directly connected to the Henpeck Interceptor. There's no extended sewer service. The tap will be made for them in the project. So we're recommending approval.
All right.
Okay. Move for approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Dana?
Aye.
All right. Passes 3-0. Number 8, consideration City of Franklin contract 2019-0035, a proposal for water system model update, collaboration and software training between the City of Franklin and Hazen and Sawyer.
So this is, a while ago, we started the water model, and this is an update to that. So it's kind of, with the growth that we've experienced on the southeast part of town, kind of adding in some of the new lines that we have to look at the pressures to make sure we have adequate capacity and pressures to those new areas. We have $65,000 budgeted this year, so we anticipate that being what's spent this year, so to cover this.
Move approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Passes
Aye.
3-0. Number 9, consideration of professional service agreement with Heathcote and Davis for contract 2019-0250 for the design of Goose Creek at Red Wing Farms reclaimed water pump station in the amount of $130,000.
So as part of the Reclaim Water Master Plan update that we're working through, there was 3 kind of upgrades that were identified to increase the pressures and capacity down to the Berry Farms areas.
Remember
So one of those was a pump station, an intermediate pump station in between the wastewater plant and Berry Farms. And so this is at Red Wing Farms, where we have the Red Wing sewer pump station right now, is kind of an area we've identified with some availability. It's already got power. We've got a lot of space right there to be able to build that station.
All right. Do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
I can vote on that now.
Okay.
All right. Passes 3-0. Consideration of professional service agreement with Heathcote, I'm sorry, did we just do that one? Sorry. Number 10, consideration of ordinance 2019-44, an ordinance to establish a 2-hour parking limit on both sides of Second Avenue North from Main Street to Bridge Street in the city of Franklin, Tennessee.
This is where the Harper Square Hotel is currently developing, so right now there is no parallel parking on that road, but when they get done with the project, there will be, and currently it is, the board's already approved a resolution to make that 2-hour parking from Main Street to the alley. The property owners were concerned about the hotel developing, and they still want to see that high turnover. They've requested this out of 11 property owners. We required them to survey. 9 of them signed the petition wanting the 2-hour parking. So with the majority in favor, we're recommending approval.
And-
Move approval.
And how many,
Oh, excuse me.
oh, that's right. And how many property owners?
Total of 11, 9 out of
And
11.
9 out of 11 signed that
Yes,
they,
ma'am.
that they
To
do
request
want
the
this.
Mhm.
All right. Do you have a motion?
Move for approval.
Do I have a second?
I've been clear. I think we ought to make it all 4 hours, so I understand, I respect the property owner's position, but
All right. I'm going to second this. Dana, do you want to have any discussion on it? Go ahead.
I mean, I've said it repeatedly. I think the whole of downtown ought to be 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the only, that's the least bad of all the imperfect solutions, in my opinion. Let's just kick it to the board. We're not,
Yeah.
there's no
we're
point
gonna-
in
We're going to kick
stump
this back to
speeching
the
here.
board. I support the 4 hours, but in this instance, because of the hotel and the turnover that we'll have there, I would lean towards supporting this, but I need some more time to think about this as well. But with 9 of the 11 property owners asking for this,
Yeah, they want it
that,
bad.
that says volumes to me, so I'll stay with my vote. All in favor? Aye. Deny.
I'm against.
So it's 2-1. And we'll send that to the full board then. Number 11, capital project status reports. All right.
Just a couple of quick ones we'll touch on. And if you've been down Century Court to the solid waste facility, we've been well underway under there, replacing some pavement, or replacing most of the pavement. We've well underway with that work. Also started upgrading the water line through the site to provide better flow through the site, so that project's moving along. The other one I'll provide an update on if you've been out McEwen Drive lately, not the roundabout, but well, you would have had to go through the roundabout to get to the rest of it, but on McEwen Drive, we've started staking the right-of-way in advance of property acquisitions. I would expect the staking to take another couple of weeks, and then we'll start acquisition or the appraisal process. We expect that to take the majority of 2020, so about a year for acquisition.
Does that include presenting the appraisal prices to the owners?
That's getting appraisals, presenting them to the owners, and
accepting it?
either accepting or going to
All right.
condemnation.
So start to finish on that. Okay,
Correct.
got it. Margaret, do you have
I
anything?
have a question about the multi-use trail on 96.
Yes, ma'am.
It says in the status report, once the agreement is, it seems like everything's done, but once the agreement is signed by the commissioner, then it can begin.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the holdup? All he has to do is take a pen and sign his name.
Once we got done with what's called an excess land committee, so anytime you're putting any kind of utility or facility in the state right-of-way, the state of Tennessee requires you, unless they waive it, and they didn't in this case, they require you to get a license agreement, which gives the city of Franklin permission to construct and maintain that multi-use path in state right-of-way.
So what do you have to do to get the license?
We had to go through excess land to even approve to be in the right-of-way. We've gotten that approval. Then the state drafted a physical agreement that they've sent to us. Our law department has reviewed, and actually Eric will be signing that within the next day or so, and we'll send that back to TDOT. Once the commissioner signs on that and formalizes the agreement, they will then certify our right-of-way, and then we can get notice to proceed for construction and bid the project.
Okay, once Eric signs it, it ought to take about an hour to get that done by the commission. I mean, you know, it's just signing your name.
I don't have any
I mean,
control on when the
it goes
commissioner
in your
signs.
drawer, it goes under a stack of papers, and it stays there until you all make enough noise for them to look for it and get it out and sign it. See, I've been through this for years with people. You know, it just needs to get done. And I understand there's some, get the license, get Eric to sign it. Once Eric signs it, then get the commissioner to sign it.
We don't have direct access to the commissioner. I give it to our contacts.
We'll be making a lot of noise.
Yes.
We always do. We'll be making noise to get them to get it done, and then
Thank you.
wait for the notice to proceed.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else? we'll
That's it.
highlight?
If there are any
Um,
questions.
General.
How's the roundabout going? Are we getting the utilities in over there at the roundabout at McEwen?
The water line is in. They are finishing the storm line as we speak. In the last few weeks they have been. They expect to have that done by December, and they're going to start moving the gas line the first week of December. It should take about 2 to 3 weeks to move the gas line. I believe it'll be less, but they're telling us 2 weeks at this point. At that point, then they will do the curb and gutter work.
Okay,
We're still trying to get it paved before plants shut down and before the
Yeah,
temperatures
it's
don't,
true.
it's getting very tight.
yeah, it's very tight.
They do have contractually until middle of February to get the project done.
Yeah, good luck. It's gonna be tough. If the weather stays okay, we'll be all right. And then any other projects? Go ahead.
The traffic signal, West Haven, as soon as the contract document is complete, the city will issue a notice to proceed for construction activities to begin. What does that take?
The board approved last week the award of the contract. Once you approve the contract, everything has been reviewed by legal, and we're getting the proper signatures from the contractor on the contract documents. As soon as we receive those, we'll schedule the construction meeting to issue a notice to proceed.
We have to go through insurance and bonding and make sure everything is appropriately put in place.
And they won't do that until the contract has been awarded, which is what the board officially took
You
action
just
on last
awarded it
Tuesday.
at your last meeting.
So we're in
the
the process of scheduling that pre-construction meeting, at which time we'll issue a notice to proceed at that meeting, which will then define the project length of when they can start and when the project completion date is.
Okay, but what are we talking about? A day, a week, a month, 6 months?
I think reasonably within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be having that sit-down meeting if it hasn't been
Yeah,
scheduled
just got to
already.
schedule. We haven't scheduled it
Yeah.
yet. We're waiting to get a
I
little
mean, you're
closer on
talking
the
2 to 3 weeks
documents.
to schedule the meeting and then issue notice to proceed. Now, the contractor may not show up the first day we issue that notice to proceed, but it will start his clock to get the job done.
Thank you.
All right, any other ones? All right, and do we have any stormwater updates? I don't see anything on here.
Water and sewer.
Water and sewer, yeah, I mean, water and sewer.
Yeah, so I just,
I didn't see anything on here, but.
yeah, let's see, for Henpeck Lane, so we've done, we finished the construction on the west side of Lewisburg Pike, and then we've also crossed Ellington Drive on the east of that project. So the contractor civil is working from both ends to meet on that stream crossing. So
Good.
that's progressing. Hopefully we can get a good portion of that done before the wet weather, and that the response in 5 Mile Creek is pretty large. For the plant, the EQ tank is, the walls are about 75% done, and the domed roof. Form work is being done, so they're shotcreting right now. We're having some weather, so we can't obviously pour any concrete during cold temperatures. We have to keep it heated. The solids building that had the concrete that was poured out of spec, the one quadrant of it is being demolished, and so that should start, I think that's going to start Monday. And we've actually given them authorization to work on Sunday to get that demolition complete. They'll have to jackhammer all of that concrete out and save the rebar and then re-pour that. So we want them to move as quickly as possible before the weather gets really bad.
Okay. All right, anything else? All right, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.